My name is Linda Misiura, and I'm the owner and designer-in-chief of Ruby Red Design Studio. In the morning, I tend to do a lot of what I call housekeeping for my business. Emails, keeping track of what clients need and planning out for the next month or so. If invoices need to be done, I do that then. And then typically after lunch is when all of my creative work gets done. So any designing, whether it be for print or for web, I section off my whole afternoon and get down into the nitty-gritty design world. Communication is a really big part of what I do, just as much, probably more so almost, than the design is trying to figure out what people want, and so email is a really big component of that. Some do's for web design, specifically people who are working for other clients, one-to-one. I work with people one-to-one. I'm not generally working with the middleman. Are to be in constant communication, to let that person know that you're there working for them and that the relationship is balanced, that you're going to put in as much effort as they can put in, and you need to work together to get to that end product. Best practices in terms of design are keeping ahead of trends but not being too trendy. For me, I try to focus on creating classic design that's going to last the client several years. At this point, the web 5 years ago looks completely different than it does now, and completely different than it will 5 years from now. So I don't like to put an expiration date on my sites, but I like to think that the design that I create is classic and wholesome enough that it will last them to their next redesign, their next iteration of their business. The design process starts with, that first meeting. We talk about what the client ideally needs and what they want, and then we negotiate as far as budget goes. Sometimes clients have really big wants, but they can only afford smaller wants, so we negotiate there. And then they fill out a questionnaire, so I have all of those questions that I got to ask them in person, along with any personal things that I learn about them. And then we do a questionnaire that's primarily based on their style or what they think their business style is, and after that we focus on their homepage and design something that hopefully reflects them, and if not, we go through editing processes there where there's multiple rounds of revision until we get it just right for them. The most rewarding part, and also the most challenging part, of being a web designer is working with the clients. It's the best feeling in the world when you get an email at the end of a project, or a thank you card in the mail, or sometimes they send gifts. I got coffee once, it was great. To say thank you, you did such a good job, you captured me. Or I had a client the other day who cried and said that she felt heard. It was really great to have someone hear what she was saying, which is just wonderful. It makes me feel like I'm doing my job. But on the flip side, there's also those clients who are really challenging, that push you to your breaking point and make you reevaluate if this is the right thing for you or not. But ultimately, it's the good ones that keep you going. Some advice that I would give to aspiring web designers who specifically want to work for themselves is to be disciplined and focused. This isn't a job where anyone else is telling you what to do. You have to create your own schedule. You have to figure out when the bills go out and when the emails go out and when things need to be done. And you have to have a lot of structure in place to be able to do that. You need to have that core talent at the heart of it. You have to be able to do the design and create beautiful websites and beautiful print stuff. But if you can't manage the process as well, go work for someone else, because working for yourself is 3 times as hard as sitting at a desk job at some other company and letting them run the show.